Changes to the congressional and Supreme Court district maps have affected thousands of voters. In Ouachita Parish, people may have already received voter information cards in the mail. Now, Kenya Ross joins us now with the update. Kenya?
Yes, Jennifer, the changes to the maps affected more than 30,000 voters in the Ouachita Parish alone. Now it's the citizens' responsibility to make sure the registrar of voters gets the appropriate information if your registration records need to be corrected.
The entire parish was Congressional District 5, which is represented by Julia Letlow. And after the redistricting process, it was divided from the east boundary all the way to the west boundary. It was just a section straight through the middle of the parish is 5. And the top half is 4 and the bottom half is 4.
With the updated changes to the congressional district map in Ouachita Parish showing the divisions, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson represents District 4 and Congresswoman Julia Letlow represents District 5. Because of these amendments, Registrar of Voters Isabel Butler says residents may have seen voter information cards in the mail.
If you receive cards in the mail that said a district change, you want to check your congressional district to see if that was what was changed. And also Supreme Court districts were changed as well. We were all District 4 and now we're Districts 2 and 4. So you may have been changed, your Supreme Court district may have changed, or your congressional district may have changed.
Butler says the changes of the congressional and Supreme Court district maps affected more than 30,000 voters.
Over 30,000 voters were switched from 5 to 4 and from 4 to 2 in the Supreme Court.
And the Registrar of Voters office said today that of over 60,000 cards that were mailed out due to redistricting, a big number of those were returned due to a bad address. According to the office, if your card was returned by the post office, this made your voter record inactive. You can check your status at geauxvote.com.